All right, so today we're diving into something called Shadowboard,
Hmm.
which kind of sounds like something out of a spy movie, right?
Yeah, it does.
Like some kind of secret weapon or something.
Right.
But no decoder rings needed for this one.
Yeah.
We're actually talking about a pretty fascinating new approach to AI.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all laid out in this research paper by Steve Goshnick.
Okay.
It's called Primo 2000 Goshnick.pdf.
All right.
But honestly, the name Shadowboard is pretty clever once you get what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Basically, it's using insights from psychology,
Hmm.
like how our own minds work,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
design better, more effective, intelligent agents.
Okay, so instead of just lines of code, you're talking about AI with like
Yeah.
personality.
That's the idea, yeah.
Interesting.
Goshnick, he draws inspiration from this field called analytical psychology.
Okay.
And it's this framework where an agent is built from these smaller, more specialized components called subagents. So instead of one big AI brain, it's more like a team of smaller AI brains, each with its own specialty.
Exactly.
Wow.
Each subagent is like a subpersonality.
Okay.
And this is a concept that suggests we all have these different selves,
Yeah.
that come out in different situations.
Yeah, like how you act different around your boss than you do with your friends.
Exactly. That's a great example.
Right.
Those are like subpersonalities in action.
So you're saying that, like, my AI assistant might have different personalities for handling my calendar versus playing music.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool.
Right.
But wouldn't that make things more complicated,
Oh, it could.
having all these different personalities?
But Shadowboard, it actually addresses that complexity
Okay.
by borrowing from this psychological model called voice dialogue. And this model helps map out how these subpersonalities interact
Okay.
and, importantly, how they can be managed.
Right.
So it's like having a well-organized team instead of just chaos.
That makes sense. Now, the paper mentions a whole bunch of these subpersonalities.
Yeah, it does.
Do we need to know about all of them to
Uh,
understand how Shadowboard works?
Not necessarily. I
Yeah.
think some of the key players are the protector,
Okay.
the pusher,
Mhm.
the inner critic, and the
Pleaser.
pleaser.
Okay. Those sound very human.
They do, right.
Yeah.
And they each have their own unique function, and they can be called upon, depending on the task at hand.
Okay, let's try to picture this in action.
Okay.
Say, my AI assistant needs to help me learn a new language.
Mm-hmm.
How would these subpersonalities come into play?
Well, imagine your inner critic pipes up, says something like, you'll never be fluent,
Yeah.
trying to keep you in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But then your pusher subagent comes in and
Yeah.
says, come on, you can do this. Let's practice.
I like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
And maybe your pleaser subagent pops in,
Mm-hmm.
suggests finding some fun language learning games to keep you motivated.
That's a good one. So it's like having a whole internal team of AI cheerleaders and coaches to keep me on track.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
But what happens to the subpersonalities that aren't being used at any given time?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do they just like disappear?
That's where this concept of the shadow comes in.
Hmm.
It's a term from Jungian psychology,
Okay.
and it refers to the parts of ourselves that we repress or disown,
Okay.
often because of past experiences
Hmm.
or societal pressures.
So like that time I tried karaoke and like completely bombed.
Maybe, yeah.
Is that part of my shadow?
Could be.
Interesting.
We often push these unacceptable parts of ourselves
Yeah.
into the shadows.
Right.
And Shadowboard takes this concept
Right.
and applies it to agent architecture.
Mm.
So inactive subagents,
Mm-hmm.
the ones not currently in use,
Right.
are like those disowned subpersonalities.
Okay.
They're not gone,
Right.
but they're waiting in the wings, ready to be activated if needed.
Okay, so we've got these sub-agents, each with its own personality.
Right.
Some active,
Yeah.
some hanging out in the shadow,
Mm-hmm.
waiting to be called upon.
Exactly.
But who's making the call? Who's
Uh,
deciding which sub-agent gets to, like, step up to the plate?
That's where the aware ego comes in.
Okay.
It's like the executive decision maker, the conductor of this whole internal orchestra of subagents.
Wow.
You can think of it as like the most self-aware part of the agent,
Right.
the one that can assess the situation,
Yeah.
decide which subpersonality is best suited for the task.
So the aware ego is like the ultimate multitasker,
Yeah,
constantly juggling all these different sub-agents
Yeah.
and making sure the right one is in control
right.
at the right time.
Exactly.
But how does it actually do that?
Oh.
Does it just have a really big to-do list?
It's definitely organized.
Okay.
The aware ego in Shadowboard uses some pretty sophisticated tools, like a generalized constraint solver.
Which helps it quickly evaluate different options.
Okay.
Choose the best course of action
Right.
based on the current situation and the agent's goal.
That sounds pretty efficient. But how does this whole shadowboard approach compare to the way traditional multi-agent systems work?
Oh, that's a great question.
Or MAS?
Yeah.
Don't they also involve multiple agents working together?
They do.
Yeah.
And that's a great question because it gets to the heart of what makes shadowboards so unique.
Okay.
So while both shadowboard and traditional MAS involve multiple agents, the way they interact and make decisions is fundamentally different.
So it's not just about having a bunch of agents in the same room.
Right.
It's about how they're structured.
Exactly.
And how they communicate with each other.
Exactly. Exactly. In a traditional MAS, the focus is often on agents with like a high degree of autonomy.
Okay.
They're designed to be kind of like independent problem solvers. You know, negotiating and collaborating with each other.
To achieve some common goal.
Okay, so more like a group of freelancers collaborating on a project as opposed to a company with a clear hierarchy.
That's a good way to put it. Now, in Shadowboard, things are a bit more structured.
Okay.
The sub-agents with their different personalities have limited autonomy.
Okay.
They're guided by the aware ego, which acts kind of like the CEO, making the big decisions, delegating tasks based on the situation.
So instead of a free-for-all brainstorming session, it's more like a well-run board meeting.
Precisely.
With a clear agenda.
Yeah, and this difference in structure also impacts how the agents communicate.
Okay.
In traditional MAS, communication can be quite complex, you know? Agents need to negotiate, persuade, even bargain with each other to reach consensus.
It sounds like it could get pretty messy.
It can be.
Especially if you have a lot of agents with different goals and priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But in Shadowboard, communication between sub-agents is much more straightforward.
Okay.
They don't need to negotiate or persuade because the aware ego is providing clear instructions, delegating tasks accordingly.
Okay.
So it's all about efficiency and minimizing that communication overhead.
So Shadowboard is like having a really good project manager who keeps everyone on track and focused.
Absolutely.
I can see how that would be beneficial, especially with these really complex tasks.
Yeah, definitely. And this leads to another interesting point. The role of social awareness. Traditional MAS often emphasize social awareness, meaning the agents are designed to understand the intentions and goals of other agents. This makes sense in a system where agents need to negotiate and cooperate as equals.
But wouldn't that require a lot of processing power?
It can.
Like each agent is constantly trying to read the minds of all the other agents?
It can be computationally expensive. Yeah. Shadowboard, however, takes a different approach. So instead of prioritizing that social awareness from the get-go, it emphasizes self-awareness.
So it's more about each agent understanding its own capabilities, limitations, before trying to figure out what everyone else is thinking.
Exactly. The aware ego plays a crucial role here. It has this deep understanding of its own sub-agents, their strengths and weaknesses, how they can best work together.
So it's like a coach. Who knows how to get the best performance out of their team.
Exactly.
But hold on. If these Shadowboard agents are so focused on themselves, how can they effectively cooperate with other agents in a larger system?
That's a great point.
It seems like they'd be terrible team players.
It's a great point, and this is where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
So while Shadowboard prioritizes self-awareness within a single agent, it doesn't ignore the importance of social awareness in a multi-agent setting.
So how do they bridge that gap?
Well,
would they eventually learn to be more socially aware?
In a way, yes. When multiple Shadowboard agents need to interact in a larger MAS, their aware egos take on the responsibility of understanding, coordinating with each other.
So it's like the CEOs of different companies coming together to form a strategic partnership.
Exactly.
They use their deep understanding of their own companies to figure out how to work together effectively.
Exactly. And to make this cooperation smoother. Shadowboard relies on a couple of key concepts. Mutual beliefs. And archetypes.
Remind me what archetypes are again.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like something straight out of a philosophy class.
So think of archetypes as like idealized versions of subagents.
Okay.
It's like having a blueprint for what an ideal problem solver or an ideal creative thinker would look like.
Right.
And these archetypes provide a common framework for different agents to understand each other's capabilities.
So it's like having a shared language.
That's a great way to put it.
For describing different skills and roles.
Yeah.
Even across different agents.
Exactly. Now, mutual beliefs come into play when agents need to work together towards a common goal.
Right.
And these are shared understandings about the world or the task at hand, allowing agents to coordinate their actions without having to constantly renegotiate every detail.
So it's like having a pre-game strategy session.
Exactly.
Where everyone gets on the same page before the game even starts.
Exactly. Now, there's a potential downside to relying on these internal models of other agents. Remember how we talked about the shadow and how it can hold our like disowned or repressed aspects?
Yeah, like my hidden fear of public singing.
Right.
What about it?
Well, there's a risk that shadowboard agents, when trying to understand other agents, might rely too heavily on their own internal models, leading to a kind of stereotyping.
Wait, so you're saying AI could develop prejudices?
Yeah.
Based on limited information?
It's a valid concern.
That's kind of unsettling.
It's like judging a book by its cover, you know, or assuming that everyone from a certain region behaves the same way.
Right.
The paper actually addresses this by quoting Gordon Allport, a psychologist who studied prejudice. And he said, to stereotype is to place a newly encountered entity into a pre-established category to save oneself the effort and time in getting to know this entity and in having to think about it. To stereotype is to shortcut thought, an economy measure we all take.
So we all stereotype to some extent. Because it's easier than starting from scratch.
Exactly.
Every time we meet someone new.
Right.
But where do we draw the line?
Right.
When does a helpful shortcut become a harmful stereotype?
That's the crucial question. And Allport continues by saying, however, not to allow facts to change the stereotypes we hold is to be prejudiced. In other words, the key is to be open to new information.
Right.
Update our beliefs.
Yeah.
Based on real-world experiences.
Right.
And that's where Shadowboard gets really interesting.
So we're back, and this whole idea of AI stereotyping has me thinking, if we're using human psychology as a model, are we just going to end up creating AI with all the same biases and flaws that we have?
It's a legitimate concern, but remember, we're not just copying human psychology. We're using it as inspiration to design something new.
Right.
And one of the exciting things about Shadowboard is that it's designed to allow for belief revision.
So these Shadowboard agents, even if they start with some preconceived notions, they can actually learn and adapt.
Yeah.
Based on new information.
Yeah, that's the...
So they can like break free from their stereotypes.
Exactly, as these agents interact with other agents of the world around them. They gather new data that can challenge their initial beliefs.
Right.
And the aware ego, that central decision maker, can then use this new information to update the agent's internal models.
It's like realizing that your initial impression of someone was wrong.
Yeah.
And then changing your opinion based on getting to know them better.
Exactly. And this ability to adapt and learn from experience, it's crucial for creating AI that can function effectively in a complex and ever-changing world.
It seems like Shadowboard is trying to find that sweet spot between efficiency and accuracy. You want the AI to be able to make decisions quickly, but also be able to adjust its understanding as it learns more.
Precisely. And this brings us back to one of the fundamental goals of AI research. Creating systems that can not only perform tasks, but can also learn and adapt, much like humans do.
We've talked a lot about the technical side of things, but I'm curious about the bigger picture. What are the potential implications of this kind of agent architecture? Where could this lead?
Oh, the possibilities are incredibly exciting. Remember how we talked about personal assistant agents and multi-agent systems? Shadowboard could be a key to bridging the gap between those two worlds.
So instead of having separate approaches for those different types of AI, Shadowboard could provide a more unified framework.
Exactly. It could help us design everything from smarter personal assistants that can anticipate our needs to more complex systems for managing traffic flow or even coordinating disaster relief efforts.
Wow.
Imagine a world where AI systems can work together seamlessly.
Yeah.
Each playing its part like a well-rehearsed orchestra to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges.
Okay, now you're really getting me thinking.
Yeah.
This isn't just about making our lives a little bit easier with better gadgets.
Right.
It's about creating AI that can truly collaborate with humans to make the world a better place.
That's the ultimate goal, and it all starts with understanding how our own minds work.
Right.
The insights from psychology, like those found in voice dialogue,
Yeah.
they're proven to be invaluable for designing more effective, adaptable, and maybe even more relatable AI.
It's like we're taking the best of what we know about human intelligence and using it to build something new, something even more powerful.
I like how you put that it's about learning from nature to create technology that can complement and enhance our own abilities.
Right.
And who knows, maybe in the process, we'll learn a thing or two about ourselves as well.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
This deep dive into Shadowboard has been fascinating.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's made me realize that the future of AI isn't just about lines of code.
Right.
It's about understanding the complexities of the human mind and using those insights to create something truly remarkable.
I completely agree. The next time you interact with your AI assistant, take a moment to think about all the intricate processes happening behind the scenes.
Right.
All those sub-personalities working together. And maybe even pay a little more attention to your own internal team as well. You might be surprised by what you discover